our talk. How do you say super app in Portuguese? Well, Brazil-based New Holdings is a wildly popular digital banking and lending app that has no physical branches, but that does not seem to bother its 131 million customers and counting in Latin America. And now Nubank is getting closer to breaking into America's banking world. Right now, we do have shares falling by about 9.5%, this despite reporting fourth quarter profits that rose 50%. Over the past year, if you look at new shares, they have spiked some 31%. The fintech, which operates specifically in Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia, just cleared its first hurdle for a U.S. bank charter as it looks to transition from a Latin American leader to a global digital banking platform. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive, Nubank CEO David Vélez. David, welcome. I've been watching your company ever since, well, several years ago when Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway took a huge position and sold at a very, very big profit. So this is an interesting one. Tell me exactly how close you are to moving into the U.S. market.
Liz, thank you so much for having us. So we've been looking at the U.S. market for several years now, and this is the year where we take the big step. I think that really the catalyst has been, on the one end, really solidifying our positioning in Latin America as the leading digital bank. And with 131 million customers, we're now the largest digital bank in the world, with a very profitable business model that is self-sustaining and that is growing about 50% per year. And the regulatory environment in the U.S. has changed this year. And after a few conversations with the regulator, with the OCC, we just got the first phase of our banking license approved in the U.S. This is the first stage in multiple stages that are coming up, but it's been very positive to see a much more open regulatory environment in the U.S. And so we're getting closer to be able to launch something for U.S. consumers soon.
Well, you still have to be getting, I guess, some approval from the FDIC and from the Federal Reserve, but it's soon is really exciting for a lot of people who live in this country, absolutely love the intuitive platform that you guys offer. But how do you beat companies that are already doing very, very good super apps? Well, not necessarily super apps, but working toward them. That would be, I'm thinking, SoFi, Robinhood. I know you're not a brokerage yet, but give me a sense of how you make the pitch to somebody who's well entrenched on those sites.
Sure. I mean, if you take a step back on banking, I think what's interesting about the U.S. Banking system is that banks are still have a significantly higher cost structure than a lot of the banks in a lot of areas around the world that have had more competition. You still see a lot of banking branches in every corner. And you start thinking about how much do those banking branches cost, and who's paying for that cost is ultimately U.S. consumers. And they're paying for that via receiving very little fees. Over the majority of consumers in the U.S. actually get zero yield on their deposits. They're not seeing their money grow. They're getting zero pay. They're having to pay the bank to actually save and not the other way around. And a lot of them also still have low access to credit or very high fees. So the advantage of the digital banking model, that the one that we've been scaling over the past 12 years, has been, since our cost structure is 20x less expensive than the big banks, we can pass that efficiency to the end customer via very high yields on their money, no fees, way better customer experience, fully digitally, and ultimately a better value proposition for consumers. So while the U.S. has still, obviously you mentioned a couple of fintechs, the opportunity really is around the entire banking industry, and 90% plus of financial services in the U.S. is still dominated by big traditional incumbent banks.
Well, I'm looking monthly average revenue per customer. You guys get about $15, but your cost to serve per active customer is 8 cents. So I would imagine investors really like that sort of balance there. It's pretty interesting. I do have to ask you, though, got a lot going on in Latin America right now. You're in Mexico, Colombia, Brazil. Do you talk about, have you had meetings about the possibility of the Venezuela market eventually opening now that its dictator has been deposed?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a market that has been completely off limits for anybody for decades. The banking industry in Venezuela is completely, it doesn't really exist. It's effectively a government monopoly today. The sanctions are still on, so there is no, you cannot really go in and do anything in Venezuela just yet, especially for financial services space. But it's very similar to a lot of the trends that we see in all Latin American countries and globally, where customers are wanting to invest in US dollars because they don't trust their local currencies.
Right,
so there's an opportunity to provide stable coins. There is no access to credit. There's no access to savings. And the digital banking model, given the cost structure that you mentioned, the low cost to serve, allows us to get to a very large percentage of the population.
David, I hope this is the first of many interviews. When you get that bank charter, we want to cover that. So thank you very much. David Vélez of New Holdings. All right.